Welcome back to episode 2 of our series in depression, daily wins, finding the good in depression. There is some good there. I know most days it may be a struggle to do so. This is episode 2, redefining success on low capacity days. And remember, this is hopefully helping to decrease our depression behaviors and increase our healthier behaviors so we can live the life that we truly want to live. So again, welcome back to Daily Wins, a series where you learn to notice what's right, even on the days that feel all wrong. And in the last episode, we talked about why noticing small wins matter, especially when depression convinces you that nothing you do counts. So today we're diving into something really important. It's what actually counts as a win when you're struggling. Spoiler is probably everything you've been trained to overlook or minimize actually counts as a win for you. Because here's the truth. If it required effort, it counts. If it brought relief, it counts. And if you gave even one moment of connection or clarity, it counts. So let's unpack what that actually means. So you've been taught to only count big, measurable outcomes. From school to work to social media, we've been taught that only achievements count. Finishing the project, reaching a goal, crushing your to-do list. But that's not how healing works. And it's definitely not how depression works. When your brain and body are running on empty, even the smallest action can feel momental. And yet we really do dismiss those wins. So I just took a shower. That doesn't count. Or I only washed 2 dishes. Or I didn't get anything done today. These thoughts are habits. And today we're going to break that habit by redefining success on your own terms. Remember, if we spent a long time with these kind of thoughts over and over, then it's going to be hard to break that habit. So we really have to work on that. Noticing those small wins and the efforts that we do put into our life. So if it took effort, it really does count. And here's a new rule that you should try. And that's, if it took effort, it counts. That means sitting upright in bed instead of staying curled under the covers is a win. Crying instead of numbing out is a win. Choosing to rest instead of spiraling, win. And saying no to something when you felt guilty, win. And lastly, taking your meds is a win. And I'm sure you have many, many more things that you do throughout the day that you just need to remember that's a win. So even internal shifts count. You paused before a self-critical thought, you noticed your breath, or you remembered one thing that made you smile once. Your brain might argue with you. Let it. Your job isn't to convince your brain, it's to keep noticing anyways. I think that's really how that helps us in the long run. So redefine success with self-compassion. So here's a little journaling prompt you can use every day. If success today means being kind to myself, what does a win look like? Try these examples. I didn't force myself to do more than I could. I asked for help. I put on clean socks. I allowed myself to rest without calling it lazy. I felt something deeply and stayed with it. When we define success with self-compassion instead of self-pressure, the game can change. And suddenly life doesn't feel like a test you're always failing. It feels like a path you're still walking slowly but surely. So now let's close this one out. Your worth is not measured by your output. It's measured in effort, presence, the fact that you're still trying. So in this episode, we redefined what counts as a win. If it took effort, it counts. If it moved you toward a life or away from harm, it counts. If it brought you even a second of clarity, safety, or stillness, it absolutely counts. So now here's the comment section. Comment on anything about this video, maybe that resonated with you. Yeah. can't talk apparently, but anything that you liked, let's talk about that. Or anything that's going on in your life, let's talk about that too. Or if you're struggling with what to comment below, here is a question. What's one thing you did today that deserves to count, even if your brain says it doesn't? Next episode, we'll get super practical. I'll walk you through how to create your own daily win log and why writing it down really does matter. Remember, you're showing up. That is not small. That is not nothing. That is your win. And that's what's important to remember, right? So if you like this video at all, if it helped you, like, comment, subscribe. If you think that somebody else could benefit from this video on daily wins, redefining success on a low capacity day, please share it with them. Maybe they could find some good tools with that. So here, if you stay this long, here's a little bit longer on the journals that I've created. These are really to helpfully go hand in hand with these videos on just helping to keep the momentum going of recognizing where we can strengthen the healthy behaviors that we do have and create new ones. And then there's a children's book as well that does teach your child what bravery is, what courage, and what their own spark is. And there's worksheets at the back to again help them with this, to understand what is brave on the inside of them, what is courage on the inside of them, and what their own spark is on the inside of them.